What's up, family? We back. This is the First Amendment, where the boy can say whatever he want, whenever he want to say it. I don't know why do I do the mic like that, and then I just change it as soon as when we go live. I mean, I have all the time to change it before we go live, and I'm like, this is right, and then as soon as when we go live, I just and just mess with it. But whatever. What's up, y'all? We back. Gone for almost like 5 days. Yeah. I've been working on other stuff, other podcasts, other situations. But my heart is at the First Amendment podcast. And you understand what we do when we do it. Gary, what's up? Talia, what's up? Kyle, what's up? Jeff, what's up? Mike, what's up? Brian, what's up? What's up to everybody? And yeah, just to say that we've been working on something. I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't even know that this one still plays back the music. All right, but what we talk about now is Nancy Pelosi, right? So Nancy Pelosi came out and said, we not. She don't have no intentions of impeaching Donald Trump. Now, this is my situation with that, and this is my whole hang up with this situation with that. I hate the earphones sometimes on video. This is my hang up with the situation with Nancy Pelosi saying that she's not going to impeach Donald Trump. Listen, Nancy, we got that. When you was selling the wolf tickets back, and before I go into this, I don't want people to think that I do not like Nancy Pelosi or I do not like the Democratic Party. I actually was setting up a YouTube channel or a YouTube presentation on how to actually tell you guys that I'm 100% for Nancy Pelosi and I'm 100% for the Democratic Party as long as they're doing the right thing through this race and through this trial. One thing that I cannot stand is the continuous lying. I understand that politicians, that's what they do. They lie. You know what I mean? So I get that. I understand that. And it's not an issue with that or us having a problem with understanding that. Now, we knew that Nancy Pelosi didn't have enough material to impeach Donald Trump. But what I'm saying is that this makes the party looks very bad. We should have never went off of the impeachment of Donald Trump. We should have never shoved that down people's faces or nobody throats. I feel as though that we knew that as a Democratic Party, you know, before it even got as fast as going towards Donald Trump or before the impeachment got serious, you know what I mean? We knew that we didn't have enough information on him. And as of the information, we knew at the particular point in time, it was too late for actual impeachment. You know, when we talking about an actual impeachment and the long drawn out wars to impeachment, let's really break it down. You talk about trial to impeachment, you talk about conviction, and then you talk about a punishment. Now, trial is a very unique situation to actual impeachment. You know what I mean? And the reason why the trial is a very unique situation to actually being impeached and having that actually work out for you is because the first process is getting it through the House of Representation. Now, the House of Representatives, what's going to happen is that one person can bring it to the actual House. One person of the chambers, Democratic, Republican, can actually bring this actually report to the House. I think it's like the 35th or the 25th or whatever. And they can say, "Yo, listen, we're filing an impeachment clause, and we're trying to impeach the president." One person could bring it to the House of Representatives, but now they got to go to the House of Judicial Committee. Now, with that, when it goes to that actual point, the whole House got to 100% of the House has to rule in favor of a high crime or misdemeanor. So 100% of the House has to understand that this is the situation, and this is what's the situation is. It's a high crime or a high crime in the misdemeanor area and high crime felony. And we all ruling on that, not that he has done it, but we ruling on that, as a information intelligence agency, that we might think that he have done something of a serious level. Because no matter what, you're always going to have bickering back and forth. You're always going to have people saying, I did not do it. As in Reagan and Watergate. You're going to have people standing up to the actual belief of, ho, I didn't do this. So with that being said, you're going to have always an argument or a struggle or resistance actually fighting back with that happening. And like how we have now. I believe if we had Republicans that wanted to impeach Donald Trump would be impeached. We don't have Republicans that's really working towards wanting to impeach Donald Trump because they really don't feel as though that Donald Trump did something with 100% consent, that this guy did something wrong. They don't feel as though that. So this is why I was telling a long time ago, almost 6 months ago, and I was getting hammered by other Democrats. But I was actually saying, I was like, yo, we have to move off of this situation of impeachment. I said this a million times, and one thing I will tell y'all, I'm going to continue to say this. And now that Nancy Pelosi said it, I think that kind of like brings a breath of fresh air to her actual party. And what she can do is she can basically says that, you know, uh, I was done with impeachment. I was done with the route or the conversation of impeachment, and I think that she will definitely be saying that. She said that right now, but I think that that's will be her whole approach for now on, is that she's done with this conversation of impeachment. She already know that the Mueller investigation is not what every Democrat thought it was going to be about. The Mueller investigation is not even 100% relevant to what I had something of the Mueller investigation. The Mueller investigation is not even 100% relevant to what she was going through. And I know that she started to really listen to the writings that's on the wall. And sometimes when you go to listen to stuff, I tell a lot of people that it's not saying that you naive. It's just saying that, I'm listening. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I'm giving up, or I'm not saying that I'm losing. I'm just saying that at this particular point in time, it might not be smart to go ahead with that. And that's what I think that she's doing. She's playing a good role. I really believe that she's playing a good role. I believe her beginning stages and the midterms was a little sketchy, because I heard out of her mouth a couple of times that we was trying to impeach Donald Trump. I heard that. So I think that was sketchy. And I told her, I kept yelling this from the sidelines. Yo, listen, don't go with that impeachment route. Don't go with that impeachment route. So after you take it to the House of Judiciary Committee, what you want to do is you got to take it to that's the federal law and all that stuff, and then you take it to the House of Representations. The votes must agree on 100% of the votes. Busts the House. Now after he's impeached, it's a whole different other situation from removal. Because a president can be impeached, and I know you guys know this, but I'm just want to go back over these topics. A president can be impeached, but he don't have to be removed. He could be impeached, but he's not removed from office. So that's a whole different other situation. Do you believe that Donald Trump is supposed to be removed from office from the dealings that he did with Russia and the dealings that he did with different foreign policies? If you believe the information that you have seen thus far. And that's for you guys to choose. You know what I mean? Do you believe that? But as me speaking to the Democrats, I will tell them that you cannot hang on impeachment, because a lot of people look at it as a weak way to stay alive and stay a vote. People really believe that Democrats can't win, especially in 2020. A lot of people believe that because Democrats hung on to impeachment too much. And I've been saying this from 2018. I believe that they should have put the facts in the public face, but they should have never They should have never beat the Russia thing over top of people's heads. I would have did that anyway. They should have let a lot of private journalists do that. I mean, they should, as in the Democrats and the media, they let a lot of CNN do that. But they should have, if they controlled CNN, they should have told CNN to back down a little bit. But keep pushing the Russia story and the Russia. It really, really made us lose a lot of ground because people do not respect that narrative of another foreign country having something to do with a lot of these red states that we're trying to run is not savvy with computers and internets and all that stuff. A lot of these, and this is real. This is real. A lot of these places is in the South. A lot of these places is not knocking the South, but a lot of these places is not as savvy as technology and whiffs like that with technology. They believe in coal industries. So a lot of Democrats is past the coal industry situation. They want to go into more efficient ways to fuel the earth, efficient ways to be good to the earth, as in electric and oil and fossil fuel and carbon a minute carbon carbon fuel or whatever, carbon, in the air. They want to go off of a lot of energy free, safe ways to do that. And a lot of those free, safe ways to do that takes out a lot of businesses that's in the South. So what this makes is a very volatile situation. So now you gotta view the way that you view New York will be totally different from the way that you will view Arkansas. You know what I mean? And this is just honestly data. You know what I mean? A lot of people, when I speak to them, a lot of people they speak for the city or the state that they actually living in, but they never really consider that the United States has 52 states in it. We have to speak for everything, especially us as journalists and doing the work. Oh man, we gotta speak for everything. We just can't be local journalists just speaking about one area or one demographic of people. We have to, even if we're bringing it to one demographic of people. So if I was doing this for African American community, I would have to tell them the whole landscape and not just bring it to them for just the African American community, because it will be being biased on certain types of certain points of views and certain ways of talking. Now, the thing that I'm hoping that some of the Democrats start, and I'm being honest, start to pay attention to. The things that I'm hoping that Democrats starts to pay attention to a lot is that um, from the Trump regime, if you want to discredit Trump, as I see in Democrats' hearts, they cold-bloodedly don't like Donald Trump. I don't think that they cold-bloodedly don't like the Republican Party. I think that they don't like how the Republican Party is not standing up to Donald Trump. I like to take myself out of it. I understand why. I just like to take myself out of the situation. But my thing is that, can you share that and spread that around for me? Put it on space Facebook. Yes, you. Yeah, my thing is that we have a lot of argument points that we can come at Donald Trump with. We don't have to keep talking about Russia. This is one thing that I'm 100% in agreement to, and we're gonna look at some of them points today and some of them points tonight. So let's get into the actual points, because what I kind of gave y'all was the reason why we was talking about points of things that we can talk about until 2020, until the election, until we're actually running for the election. Things that we can actually talk about that Donald Trump is not succeeding in, and it's hard to fix within a year of time of when the actual elections start. The first thing is healthcare. Healthcare. When he rolled back the Obamacare, and when he rolled back the Obamacare, he set out something called Trump Healthcare. It's not me saying this. It's everybody. It's people in Memphis. It's people in Arkansas. It's not just me saying this. This is a nightmare healthcare plan. It's not 100% finished. It kicks people off at certain times. It's a short-term plan. The websites don't work. The same things that he criticized Obama for, now he's being criticized for the same thing. You see how the healthcare issue is just totally not even talked about no more. Nobody says nothing about healthcare inside the United States when it comes to Trump healthcare. Look at Trump healthcare plan and his bills. They're horrible. They're horrible. You know, he actually took he actually took the Affordable Care Act away from people, kicked us off the plan, and then made us re-sign up for new plans that did not work, or short-term plans that wasn't 100% safety. Now, a lot of people in the South was arguing and fighting for a health care plan or a health care plan provider as the same thing that will keep them on the sites, that wouldn't just drop them out of nowhere, especially if they heard that they didn't have insurance and they was diagnosed with cancer and they're looking for insurance. A lot of insurances won't pick you up. That's what Obama fixed. Obama made it so that you will have to pick a person up if they had cancer or not. They will have to be picked up. Trump is no situation in that. Sometimes you might find yourself, yo, listen, this healthcare is too much. I'm going to drop it for today and pick up another one. You can't do that, especially when you have elements and illnesses. Because once when you go to drop it and pick up a new one, oh, you're screwed. Because the new one is going to ask you what illnesses do you have? And they won't really take you, or the premium will be too high, especially and a lot of young people don't understand this healthcare situation until you pass the ages of 25 and things really start happening. When you're 21 to 25, it's like, man, I don't need healthcare. I never will. I'm healthy. I'm never will gonna need it. I could just run through a brick wall. And then you realize the situations that lies with healthcare and the reason why you do need healthcare. Then you realize, man, if I actually get in a car accident, damn, I might need this. Or if this happens, damn, I might need it. Or if that happened, then damn, I might need this. And now it becomes an issue where it's still that healthcare is a keystone point in your life, as it became mine. You have to understand that this is a situation that every Americans want to talk about. It's a healthcare plan. I even see a lot of Democrats. I'm happy that the Democrats are getting on the road, and I'm waiting for Joe Biden to put his name out. I don't think there's no hope for Joe Biden. I think it's hope for a lot of these young candidates: Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Julio, what you call it. I think it's a lot of hope for some of these young. Say that again. What, my page? Yeah, sometimes you gotta see it. It's real hard to find. Yeah, I think it's a lot of hope. I send it to you. I think it's a lot of hope for a lot of young cats. I think it is. But for me, seeing hope for a lot of me seeing hope for a lot of like Joe Biden and all these old guys, it's no hope for them. It's over. It's over. So, all right. So that's one thing I think we should talk about. If we're talking about issues to really upset the Republican Party and to try to pull votes away from Donald Trump, these are issues that we should talk about. Other issues that we should talk about to pull votes away from Donald Trump and really, really shake up the world. Other issue that I really would like for us to talk about is his world issues, his world affairs. His world affairs. Some of the world affairs that he has all over the world is in danger. And a lot of these things is in danger with the African American community. And not even with the African American community, and in danger of the world. Some of these world issues, North Korea. He was high on Kim Jong-un. He went out there to see him for the second summit. I knew that the second summit was some bullshit. I knew that it wasn't going to be 100% lucrative or helping us in any type of way. I knew it was a waste of time. But Donald Trump went out there. He tried to get a deal done. I would never bash him for trying to get a deal done with a foreign policy that has nuclear bombs. I would never buy and testing nukes. I would never bash for that. Good for him for trying to get the deal done. It did not work though. So, kudos for him, but him. In a dunk contest, you can try to dunk, but if you don't dunk, guess what? You don't get them points, baby. So at the end of the day, he didn't get the points. North Korea is a huge thing and a world issue. Saudi Arabia is so huge in our issues with the world. We're selling Saudi Arabia bad guns. We're selling Saudi Arabia guns. We're selling Saudi Arabia tankers. We're selling Saudi Arabia missiles, rocket launchers. If you want to be a Democrat and you want to discredit our president of the United States, discredit him on our alliance with Saudi Arabia. Remember, Obama would not take that deal because he understood what the Crown Prince had in his mind and all of the nonsense that he was about. So Obama refused to take some of the deals from that actual situation. So when we're talking about the actual when we're talking about Saudi Arabia and when we want to discredit Donald Trump as a Democrat, instead of discrediting him with the Russia situation, whole entire year. We need to back up off of Russia because Donald Trump continues to do things that's weird and very unique other than the Russia case. And I understand why we're on the Russia case because there's a lot of information with that. And, there's a lot of information, but there's a lot of information with a whole lot of things. Another thing is Israel. His love affair with Israel. You heard him today said that he believed that Democrats hate Jews. No, it's your overkill for the Jewish community. No, I'm not knocking it. I'm treading on very thin ice. It's your overkill for AIPAC. It's how much I know what Omar said, Congressman Omar said was kind of insensitive to certain people, but what the hell? We put a travel ban on Muslims. That's what we basically did. So now that we have an issue when a person of a certain faith was picked on, was denied by a country, now when they starting to see some type of issues between between Jews and America, they see the actual money spending, how much Jews actually give to America. Of course she's going to have issues with that. Of course that's going to happen. Of course that's going to happen. Of course I'm not upset by the things that she said. Because you have a different demographic of people now. Everybody's at the table and everybody can talk. It's not no more shaking hands and being nice and I want to sit in that seat. No, we have people, everybody at the table, and everybody can talk. This is the unique part about this situation. This is the great part about this situation. Another issue that we can press Donald Trump on is the military forces that he continued to send to Africa. 4 American troops was killed in Africa over the weekend. I bet you nobody knew about that. No reports on that. 4 American troops died in Nigeria and Africa this weekend. Nobody didn't report on that. Nobody reported on that. You know what we was reporting on? This and that. We can report on way more other things than Russia with Donald Trump because it's more countless of information that he is continue to do every day. Russia is something that he did before he was president. It's stuff that he does every single day. Venezuela. Look at the turmoil that's going on in Venezuela because he has not set up a unique strategic plan to end this before it even got this big. To end the situation before it even got this big. We had controls and time to step in before this situation even got this big. Now we see a leader that they believe that's out of control. I would not cast my judgments on Nicolas Maduro because I don't know. I don't believe the reports that's coming out of Venezuela. If I was there, then it would be a different conversation. It'd be a different conversation. I would be telling y'all what's right and what's wrong, what's not, and it was that. But I'm relying on reports of like what Mike Pompeo's did. Tweeted pictures of roads that been blocked for almost 5 years. Oh, they're not letting us in. Well, those roads been blocked like that for 5 years. So they wasn't letting us in 5 years ago. You didn't say nothing about that. America got to stop coming to these country aids when the country is already need help. What happened from us buying steel and oil from these people? No, we castrated them out because they was dealings with Russia. Let's really talk about it if we're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it if we're gonna talk about it. If y'all want to talk about a situation, something that Donald Trump and his regime should have fixed a long time ago was the Nicolas Maduro situation. But he's too busy playing with the border. You wanted to do something with the border around that area, you should have did something about with Nicolas Maduro. With that border around that area, you should have did something, but you didn't want to do that. You didn't want to do that. You really didn't want to do that. You want to, after things get bad, then that's when we talk about it. That's when we talk about it. Now, you want to talk about China? Let's talk about China. Let's talk about the trade and tariffs with China. Let's talk about all the tariffs that he put on China. Let's talk about how he's killing China economy. Let's talk about, oh man, he's saying that we winning the war with putting trade tariff on China. But what war are we winning? Because we owe China money. So at the end of the day, we might be winning this little trading war, but okay, we still in debt with China. How much are you really winning, Donald Trump? Let's really talk about these wars that he says that he win that he don't really. It's way more things that we can embarrass Donald Trump on than the 2016 Russian election. It's way more things that we can embarrass Donald Trump on than the old facts of what did he did with Russian collusion. It's way more information that we have. I got tons of it. Don't worry about it. I got more. Let's talk about the relationship between North Korea and South Korea. Let's talk about let's look at what he has done. When he made a regime with North Korea on June 12th, 2017, when he made that regime with North Korea, what did he do to South Korea? He stopped testing bombs. He stopped doing he took money away from them. He told them that they was gonna have to pay. He started taxing them. He told South Korea that they was gonna have to actually pay for them to stay around. This is the things that he told South Korea after he felt like he was getting cool with North Korea. Now, what do that do to South Korea? Y'all like, Isaiah, what are you talking about? Okay, we protect South Korea from North Korea. North Korea and South Korea has been talking. You're right. I'm not going to sell you a misleading fact. North Korea and South Korea has been talking. They're on the cool side. But Kim Jong-un is a madman. You would talk to him one day, the next day he'd be testing war missiles. That's what happened to Donald Trump. When Donald Trump was on the plane back, Kim Jong-un was testing missiles. He said, "Fuck you, Trump. I'm gonna go test my bombs. Give a fuck what you telling us." I'm sorry for cussing. He said, "I don't care what y'all telling us. I'm gonna go over here and test my bombs. Listen, Trump. I know you trying to control shit, but damn you, let me go test my bombs. I'll talk to you later about controlling stuff because that don't work over here." That man is not giving up his nuclear weapons. Why? Do you see what's he around? Do you see what's he around? Who's he around? Let's go through who's he around. Japan, China, Russia, South Korea. Japan, South Korea has a strong alliance with America. China, Russia has a strong alliance. Kim Jong-un really don't get along with too many of none of them. So will he trust giving up his weapons for them? No. No. This is all a game. This is all a game. Now look at the terrible situation we put South Korea in. We stopped routine military training with them. We started to scale back. We started telling them that they're gonna have to pay more of the bill. Donald Trump started getting ticky and real funny with them. These are the relationships that he's destroying around the world. We don't have to just hit Donald Trump on a Russia investigation, y'all. We got more information to go to him. Y'all want to talk about something else? Let's talk about the SALT, the state and local taxes. Deductions allow taxpayers of high tax states deduct local taxes, local tax payments, or their federal tax return. The new tax plan signed by President Trump calls for tax cuts. The new tax plan signed by President Trump is called Tax Cuts and Job Acts. Institutional a cap on the SALT deductions starting in 2018 tax year. The maximum SALT deduction available is, I know I already know about her. The maximum SALT deduction is $10,000. Previous, there was no limit. Let's take a closer look at what man, I need to write this better. Reduction and deduction means for residents of high tax states in California, New York, and New Jersey. So if you live in a place that has high SALT taxes, right? But don't receive a lot of federal aid, Donald Trump screwed you on your tax returns. Now, this is something that I would love for you guys to look up because I know that you guys did not get that much money back this year. This is when it was supposed to take an effect. If you live in a state, let's read this over because I kind of messed this up. Let's read this over. Okay. State and local taxes cost SALT. So when you go look it up, look up SALT. Deductions allow taxpayers of high tax states deductions local tax payments on their federal tax return. The new tax plan signed by President Trump called the Tax Cut and Job Acts institutionalized a cap on the SALT deductions. So it puts a cap on SALT deductions. Starting with 2018 tax year, the maximum SALT deduction available is $10,000. Previously, there was no limit. Let's take a closer look on what is reduction and deduction means for a resident of a high tax state like California, New York, and New Jersey. He virtually screwed you. If places that receive more federal tax aid, so places like Arkansas, let's put up all the places that receive more federal tax aid. Let's bring up places that receive more federal tax aid. Because this is what I wanted y'all to understand. Federal income tax. Okay. I had a whole list for you guys, man. States that receive, let me see. States that receive federal tax aid. Let's put that in. States that receive a lot of tax aid. Okay. All right. Okay. In 2010. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna give you 10 states that receive federal tax aid because I don't know if y'all understand what that means. So states that receive more federal tax aids got taken care of on a deduction of tax pay. So what I'm gonna give you is, and I'm gonna kind of paint y'all a picture, and this is why I believe a part of the government sued Donald Trump for this and was saying that this was pointing straight for his because he screwed people that lived in Democratic states. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. Residents in Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York have some of the highest tax bills in the nation. They also pay thousands more in federal taxes than their states receive back in federal funding. Then they pay thousands in federal taxes than their states receive back in federal funding. In the total, 10 states are so-called donor states, means they pay more in taxes to the federal government than they receive back. So then they receive back Medicaid or public education. North Dakota, Illinois, New Hampshire, Washington State, Nebraska, Colorado runs out the list. Almost the top four of the. I'm trying to get the states that actually receive the federal donor. Because what y'all want to understand is that some of these states is like Arkansas and all these states. So the states that Donald Trump won is the states that don't have to pay a lot in federal taxes. But the states that the Democrats live in, or states that African Americans live in, a lot of African Americans live in, we pay a shit ton in federal taxes, but we don't receive the same federal aids on the back end. You guys don't understand what that means. That means all the money that you putting in taxes a year is not even 25% of what you see at the end. Wow. And then what he did was put a cap limit of it of $10,000. So you definitely is not going to see a lot of your money back. You guys need to talk to the people at Liberty Taxes or H&R Tax, wherever you go, TurboTax. You need to talk to them about how different filing taxes underneath Donald Trump regime is. This is a different situation. Now I want to move on because I got lists of things that we could talk about that Donald Trump has done that you have not heard on the news. This tax situation with federal tax, this thing is a huge situation. Nobody talked to you about that. CNN ain't talking about that. D Lemon ain't talking about that. I love Don Lemon too. That's my man. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but he ain't talking about that because they don't want y'all to know these type of situations. I'm not gonna be the conspiracy guy. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know not because of that. It just don't matter for you to complain or be concerned. It don't matter for you to be concerned. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. All right. So the next thing is robots competing for jobs. Now that's a Democratic Party too problem. We got all these robots out here now competing for jobs. 100% of jobs is being taken away from regular people every single day. This is what a lot of those red states is looking for. They looking for job security. You know, they want them manufacturing jobs. You know what I mean? They don't want assembly line to go by 90% of machines and some workers. People used to put them doors on them cars. Now you got machines just airlifting the car. Do. You got machines doing this. You know, this era of machines is getting badder. You remember, you used to have people waiting for the toll line. Now you got machines in the toll line. I refuse to go to self-checkout. I want to interact with a person. That's why I refuse to go to self-checkout. I think it takes away from the experiences of more people. But this is what we're going to have now. We're going to have a lot more of people being what? We're going to have a lot. It's fast. I know it is, but it's not true. But we're going to have a lot more people doing a lot more things of technology. And my thing is that we need to get the incentives as a people back, that we're not going to lose our head in the race. How long we've been working, we're not going to be much. We're not going to turn into the machines sitting around waiting for a machine to do jobs for us. We got to start really paying attention to that, man. And that's for a Democratic thing too, because we push a lot of tech information. So us pushing a lot of tech information, we got to be careful that we're not taking jobs out of people's mouths in places that we already have done. Amazon launching free learner curriculums for machines. You know what I mean? They're asking people to build more machines and bring it into them so they can start taking over. Okay, we need to talk about the future of work and how would jobs world with how would jobs look with more machines controlling the jobs as driving the United States with optimism. Okay, all right, we got over that. Democrats need to talk about the approval rate of Donald Trump. We need to continue to talk about his approval rate. Actually, it's just, I think it was going up. And my whole thing is that because last week it was at 42%. His approval rate was at 42%. His disapproval rate was at 55%. So this approval rate for Donald Trump is improving. It's going up. Misinformation runs the. So my whole thing is that this is what I'm going to continue to tell you guys. Donald Trump approval rate is going to go up because of the regime that he's running on is controlling the world. That regime is called misinformation. Misinformation right now is controlling the world. You know, for Donald Trump to walk out and say that's fake news. That's not real. That's not real. For him to walk out and say this type of stuff, for him to be able to control and combat certain situations with inside the news, because we know that a lot of these things happen with Stormy Davis. Fox News already knew about it, and they stopped it from coming out for Donald Trump. We don't have 100% journalists going on right now. We have CNN curving and trying to be 100% honest, but it's hard to be honest when the other side is playing dirty. Because if you keep putting out information about your party, you're completely killing the party. And no matter good or bad put out against the Republican Party, they just don't believe it. Because the misinformation of the Republican Party is at an all-time high. Past the Republican Party, the misinformation of the world right now is at an all-time high. That's why Donald Trump is running this actual war with misinformation, because it's hard to get this past a lot of people. This and misinformation proves, and his approval rate proves that Democrats is not running the war with this little battle back and forth with Russia, whether he did it or not. That's not working no more, you guys. You know what I mean? I don't never think that it worked. I think it was a great, interesting conversation. You know, the things that happened was kind of unique and particularly amazing at this point in time, because we never seen that happen. You know, we're gonna get more of that, more that the internet becomes into everybody's lives and becomes front first into everything. We're gonna get more of hacking and more of these type of situations going on. But I just think that it was very unique to see what happened inside 2016 election actually happened. I think that was unique, but I think the Democrats have to move off of that part because right now you have somebody that's going into 2020 elections. He has the control of misinformation. He has the control of African Americans, no matter if you want to believe that or not. You know, the prison reform, the justice reform, a lot of the things that he's doing inside African American communities with as kicking Mexicans out. People, African Americans, believe that that's directly towards them. You have that's happening. Democrats can get these situations back. Democrats can definitely get these situations back. It's just the way that they fight. It's just the way that they fight. It's just the way that they actually fight. Another thing that we want to talk about is if Donald Trump get impeached, have we ever looked at his predecessor? Have we ever looked at the person that is coming behind him? Michael Pence. Have we ever looked at him? You know, forget looking at him. You know, as us being Democrats, why don't we investigate him? You know, 1990, he used 13,000 of his own campaign money to pay off his mortgage of his house. 1990, that 13 grand that he used it to pay off his car insurance, his car payments. This is what Mike Pence did. This is what the vice president is. Oh yeah, believe me, the vice president can be brought because he was brought on a couple of situations. He might be brought by Donald Trump right now. That's why he's standing behind him just smiling. Because the vice president needs money. Our vice president needs a lot of money at this point in time. You know the type of financial issues that he's in. I'm surprised right now if he's not living on 25th and Ridge. I'd beg him for a cigarette if he wasn't with Donald Trump right now. He was a radio host. I'm playing around. He was a radio host, but he needs money. This guy needs money. Look at the people that we have inside Donald Trump cabinet. The lady Gina the lady Gina Haspel. I think I said her name right. Haspel. The lady Gina Haspel. Look at what. Let's go back to Mike Pence real quick. Look at what his dad did in Indiana. Cost the city $300,000 of cleaning up old oil spills that his dad made with them raggedy gas stations that he had, messing up the environment. Look at what his dad did. Indiana Star disclosed that he sent private emails, AOL emails from his computer, from his private computer's server. Oh man, we got a lot on Mike Pence. We got a lot of information on Mike Pence. We got a lot of information on Mike Pence. One of Donald Trump cabinet member, Gino Haspel, that is the CIA, the leader, the lady that controls the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, the lady that controls her, Gina Haspel, I think her name is. She was involved with waterboarding. We have a lot of ways to hit Donald Trump on. We have a lot of ways to hit Donald Trump on. Then just talk about the Russia issue. Let's talk about this Better America plan. The budget for a better America. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the crazy numbers that's inside this budget. I mean, you guys, I read the budget. I read it. I didn't read all of it. 150 pages. I didn't read all of it. 150 pages. But, you know, we read it. No, we got it. $4.7 trillion. Oh, and he talks about the Green New Deal. Oh, and he talks about the three Green New Deal, 8.6 billion for his wall. Let's read some of these lines out of here, man. Just read the. Let's read what your president willing to get into. Oh, you should see all the new military fundings that he put in this thing. Oh man, our military this year, if it didn't look better, if it wasn't half of our budget last year, it's gonna look way better this year. You should see how much we're growing in the national debt limit. You should see how much we're owing the feds. Oh man, you should see how much more. Oh, well, he talked about Donald Trump national debt limit. He talked about Obama national debt limit. He's gonna raise the national debt. Oh, what the hell you think you doing, then, buddy? I want y'all to be serious right now, and I want y'all to challenge the Democrats. The reason why I want you to challenge the Democrats is because we do not have to take this bull crap. We do not have to continue to talk about Russia information when we have so many informations to talk about Donald Trump that his policies and plans just don't make sense. That just don't make sense. Let's talk about the policies and plans. Let's talk about the relationships around the world. Let's talk about the domestic issues that we have. Where you say you give African Americans way more jobs, but the African American are virtually our GDP rate. Let's talk about our GDP rate, virtually our GDP. Not how much we're getting new jobs. Let's talk about how much is it doing for our community at the end of the year. Is we spending any less? Is we recouping any less anymore? Is any type of help is happening? No. Man, we got a lot to talk about in the Democratic Party. I think the Democratic Party needs to start talking about more reparations. More reparations that a lot of young Democratic candidates is jumping on. You know, they're saying no. We're willing to have the conversation about reparations, even if it's going to cost us $3 trillion out of national debt budget. We feel as though that we have to pay for our sins. As Democrats, we have to inform the people. Come on, let's move on and let's move past this Russia situation. Let's end Russia today. Nancy Pelosi with the midterms, you got everybody to come out and you got everybody to talk about situations that, was 100% factual. You got people to vote. You got you inside office. That was 100% factual. Now, let's start talking about things that we need. Fairness and High Skill Immigration Act of 2019. Look up that bill. Recognizing the duties of the federal government and creating a Green New Deal. Look at that deal. This is all of the new bills that has came out and that has came out through his presidency. That's coming out and that has came out through Donald Trump presidency. Oh man, this is thick. So that's how I was able to go through the bills and actually see what bills is that he's fucking up on. And yo, I had to stop at everyone. I couldn't talk about all this. I had to stop at everyone, man. He got bills in here back in 2017. Stand with UK against Russia Violation Act. Look up that. Look up the Stand with UK's prison reform that was in 2017. Manage Our Wolves Act. Look up all these. Now you can hunt little baby deers or baby bears or something like that. He made the limit different. The right to know drug prices. He did a whole lot of things that we can judge him for, you guys. Let's stop judging him for the Russia thing. It's not getting us nowhere. It's not becoming of us. The Russia thing is old now, you guys. The Russia activity. I'm not saying that we cannot not talk about it no more. No. Let's continue to talk about it until we green in the face. Let's continue to talk about the Russia situation until we green in the face. The only thing that I'm saying is that let's stop judging him on the Russia situation and let's start pulling up more of these practices and these laws that's just not right. That's 100% that's not right. Let's start judging them on things that we really can judge them on, and really things that we can put the dirt over top of them, because we're losing a whole lot of Democrats just off of the bickering fight. Where Democrats is not no hardcore. They're not gonna bicker good with their mouth. I'm seeing them lose every day. I'm seeing them lose every day. One of the losses is that today, when he said that I think Democrats hate Jews, and then Democrats continue to ask him the same question: do you think we hate Jews? Do you think you hate Jews? No, nobody is seeing that as a help for you guys. That's how they take it. Either you're with Jews or you hate Jews. Donald Trump is fueling an issue that's not really 100% true, but he still has time to fuel it. We're not going to win that war, that dirty war that he had. That dirty war is, unless you got a dirty player, you're not going to win it. Unless you got somebody like Joe Biden that's willing to go back and forth. But I believe that Joe Biden politics is too old. That's why he's not going to win the Democratic Party. Because the Democratic Party is moving into a different way right now. We're moving. I think that we're not giving a lot of these young candidates time to progress and grow themselves. Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Julio Castillo. I think that's I might not be his name. I really like that brother too. I really like him. He's talking about reparations. We're not giving enough time, you guys. Let's watch these things flourish, man. Let's give time to watch these things flourish. I'm doing a little podcast tonight on Speaker with Talia. Hopefully Talia is going to be on the show. But we're going to do a podcast tonight on Speaker, man. Just going to talk about some wound up stuff. We probably going to do that around about like 12 or 1 a.m. So I'm gonna come back with y'all with another show tomorrow. Happy Monday to you guys, man. We're gonna start hitting y'all with a lot more information on these joints. I'm gonna have more help because I'm hiring people now. Hey, we can hire people. We get money to hire people. Yes. We got people funding us now. We got people looking out for us now. So we hiring more people. We getting more people involved, and that's what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna try to do more. Try to get a radio show. That's the plan. Try to get a radio station, and I'm trying to get one before, let's say 2024. Let's say 2024. We're gonna try to get one before the next election. And we're gonna try to get out here, man, and do our due diligence. We're gonna reach out to people inside different states, different countries, and try to do our due diligence and get behind candidates, man, and do something that we can do for our people and for the United States, man. Make this place a comfortable place for us to live and raise our chairs, where everybody has an equal opportunity for success. All right, y'all. You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna stay on it. I'm gonna keep my foot on the administration neck as much as I can, and I'm gonna stand for things that is right, no matter if I have to be torn down in a situation. I'm gonna continue to do it because this is what I love and this is passionate to me. You guys, I talk to y'all tomorrow, man. I'm gonna get finished reading this new budget, and I'll tell y'all about it and tell you if it sucks or not. Shout out to everybody. Yo, shout out to Sinetta, man. Shout out to Sinetta for looking at my video. That's like my big brother, man. I do it because Sinetta did it, man. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Shout out to everybody, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the likes, the subscribes. Do anything you can possibly do. I appreciate it.